YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here of NCAA Football 14 Highland Scotties Team Builder Series, and this is the Scotties Sports Talk this week, as we just came off I wouldn't say a big loss, but just a tough loss to take here, as we lose to LSU, lose to the Tigers there, 38-32. Tough game. Let's take a look at the stats here. Flanagan, 24-34, 379 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, which were both of them were pretty critical in the game. 2 sacks from him. Rush, of course, he came in the game because Flanagan had a dislocated thumb. 1 for 4, 9 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception, which the interception was from him was the game winner there for LSU. As for Kason, 23 carries, 93 yards there for him in the game. Really didn't have too much from him. Page, 113, 6 receptions, 1 touchdown. Brady Little, 9 receptions, 141 yards there for him. No touchdowns for him. And Hood had a touchdown for 9 yards there. His only reception in the game, which tied the game up and forced it to go into overtime. I mean, if you take a look at the defensive numbers there, you guys can look there, but let's just kind of go inside in those numbers. Really, truly, I mean, LSU, it was a back and forth game. I will say, I mean, you can also say there was no defense for either side. Neither side had a defense that could stop anybody. It was pretty much an offensive show. As you know, for a while there, I really thought that Highland had the game there in the first half. I really kind of feel like, okay, everything is settled down. We got them to play how we want the defense to play. And then in the second half, I mean, it's just like LSU just kind of just like, okay, we know what you're doing now, and now we're gonna make you play our game. And really, having a home game, the home team behind them and just supporting them, that was huge. It was just noise, just loud. You couldn't really hear. I know talking to a couple of players there, or to a couple of the Highland Scotties players, they were saying that they had a hard time hearing the plays being called or what was being called on offense and defense from the captains there. So, I mean, and this is not one of the biggest stadiums that Highlands played at, but this is a this is a pretty good sized stadium. It's a classic bowl shape, and LSU just, I mean, really just took advantage of that and the crowd, and just really took us out at times there. When we had solid drives going for us there, and took over on that. So tough break there for us, but unfortunately we can bounce back. I know Coach Teddy Bonds, he was not happy about the loss, but he kind of figured that they have to just really strap on their chin straps and get ready for these next couple of games coming up. And of course, they have the Red Wolves coming up here next week. We'll talk about them later on. But take a look at some of the other news there for the team. We got a couple guys that have be showing up here this week, and there's the names there. They're going to be showing up for this week's game against the Red Wolves there. And we're trying to see if we can make an impression for them coming up. But there you see some of the recruiting there. I'm not going to get into too much there. Still a couple of guys there. We got some key guys that we've been going after from the very beginning. But for the most part here, Wayne Jansen, there you see, he's pretty much now convinced. He is now pretty much locked us out. Looks like he's going to go to LSU instead. Of course, you got Terrence Long there. He's getting closer to sign with the Huskies there in Washington. John Bryan there for the Chippewas. The number 4 strong safety there, hard hitter. Looks like he's going to resign with them. And then we got some other guys that we looked at here we've been recruiting here in the last week or two. And they've Ben Graham, one of the other guys that from within the state there. We're hoping to sign him. Joshua Powers, he has decided to go ahead and he is signed with Oregon. So he's going to be a Duck now, as we just way out reach there. You see 2,000 some odd points. But Mark Collins, athlete there, 6'2", 174 pounds, from Louisiana there. He is going to sign with us there. So he is committed to our team, and so congratulations to him. He is going to be a part of his team. Don't know, by the look at his numbers, I was looking at his numbers there beforehand and whatnot, and just looking at some film on him. He looks like he's going to be a good defensive player for us. So that's what we're kind of looking at for this upcoming class coming in. We need some help with defense. Defense is going to be very important for us, of course. Like in this last game there, fortunately it was offense that got, it was the other team's defense that got on us, but yeah, defense next year is going to be very important for us coming up. But let's take a look at the top rest of the NCAA there. There were some other big shakeups in the NCAA here. Of course, you got a couple of rivalry games this week. LSU, of course, or UCLA, I should say, just destroys Texas State 62-10. But you got a few upsets here. There you see number 5 NC State almost gets upsetted there by Florida State. And what else? You got some classic rivalry games there. Of course, you got a lot of teams right now playing in conference, so a lot of conference battles there. Making those strides there towards the end of the season, trying to finish strong. What else do you just some pretty good matchups here in week 8 here in NCAA. But for us, we got the Red Wolves coming up. That is going to be a game that we're going to be nice to see us now finally at home after those 3 road games that were really tough there. You see Clemson, they get beat by Pitt. That's one of the upsets I've seen. 27-6 there is the final score there in that one. Alabama, again, still untouchable there. 42-7 beating Arkansas there in that game. And of course, for us, losing that game that we did against LSU, that's going to bring us down here. A lot of people are saying that we could stay in the top 5, or not top 5, stay in the top 10. But when it comes down to it, we end up falling down to number 12. And Virginia Tech ends up taking number 2 position there. So we we dropped down 10 spots. I think with a couple good wins here, we got a couple good teams. Got still Stanford still on our schedule. That's the last game of the season. That's Senior Day. It's a home game. So teams like that we could play against, we still have a good shot at. And I think if anything, if we're a 1-loss team, we still have a shot at the national championship. It's just gonna be a tough. We gotta have one of those other teams above us to lose, and of course, right now, anything's possible with the rankings, stuff like that. But you see Alabama, of course, number 1, Virginia Tech at number 2. They jump up 1 spot from 3. Arizona also jumps up. They jump up 3 spots from number 6. USC there from 7 to 4 this week. NC State jumped up 5 spots there on the coaches poll here on the top 25 poll. A lot of good teams jumped up quite a bit there. Florida, of course, they fell down 3. They were at number 5 last week. Now number 8 this week. They play Louisiana Louisville, number 15 Louisville there. Kansas State, they were at number 12 last week. They jumped up 3 to number 9. Washington State was number 15 last week. They're number 10 now. And there you see that's the top 10 teams right there. And then you see there as at number 12. And yeah, just take a bit of a fall there. And like I said, there's only Penn State, Arizona, and of course, I believe Alabama. There are only undefeated teams left. So those teams have legitimacy for the national championship. For us, we just gotta hope and pray that they can lose a game, and we can take that hopefully get advantage of getting up there. Not to mention we got to score some points. We got to really these next few teams, we just really have to go out there and just put on the points there, and just kind of make games look ugly and show teams that we're just we're a team that deserves to be up there, even though we lost that close game there against LSU. So I did talk to Coach Teddy Bonds about next year's schedule. He did say besides Nebraska and Notre Dame, he went ahead and put he wants to face LSU again and again at their house. So he wants to, he's really stressing that he wants to play this team there, because he feels like that team was just a touchdown away from winning the game there, or at least in the lead there. And I think really true. I think the defense would have been able to stop them there. There was, LSU's defense or offense wasn't that good. There was times they fell back, and they, passing wise, they did a great job. But they could have shut down the escape from the quarterback McMillan. I think really true. The game would have been not as close as it was, and McMillan was really the star of that game there. He did a great job there running the ball, and we just lost track of him at times. So take a look at the NCAA Players of the Weeks there, and then you see the independents there, representing there for the independent schools there. So congratulations to all those guys there for this week in week 8. We'll take a look here at the next matchup here. It'll be Arkansas State, the Red Wolves there. And like I said, we got 9 players visiting us next week for this game. So this game is going to be very important for us to really show off what we can do. There you see the numbers. Kirk Herbstreit, of course, got us as the top pick. He has us as winning this game here. And there you see passing defense is probably the only issue that we'll have against Arkansas State. Apparently, they are number 12th in the nation. So we cannot be throwing the ball around as much as, or really I should say, Flanagan cannot be hot dogging it. He cannot be, being a gunslinger out there. He needs to take his time. Only loss so far that they've had was against Boston College there just about 2 weeks ago, 38-35 at home. For the most part here, they've had a pretty good season so far here. They're 1-4, or I should say 4-1. Hansen is their quarterback there. There you see his numbers and what he has done so far for the season. 14-31, 189 yards there for him in that game against Boston College. So, he is probably definitely one of their key players there for their team. McInnes, I think, is another one. He's a wide receiver. I think we'll see his numbers here in just a bit. But yeah, Hansen so far, 98 of 179 172 passes so far completed for him. There you see our injury reports there. Of course, Hannah Cannon could be making an appearance in this game. We're not sure positive yet if he's going to be able to make it, but at least talking to him, I just met him just a few moments ago in the training room, talked to him about it, and he's like he's ready to go. He's up and ready to go. But he knows that at the end of the day, it's going to be Coach Teddy Bonds and the coaching staff to make that, make that call there. And there you see Troy Elliott for them, the right guard there for them. He's going to be out for probable for the game. Not for sure if we're going to see him in there either. So one of their big right guards there to help them out on the offensive side of the ball. But Hansen. We'll get to his numbers here. Justice Hansen. There you see great overall, 87 overall, 98 of 172 passes this year. Completed 56% of his passes were completed. 1,304 yards this year. 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 12 sacks, 81 carries, 307 yards rushing, 3 rushing touchdowns for him this season. As for Juan, we're going to try, so far he has not been a big threat, but 90 carries, 472 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 broken tackles from him. Great speed there, great acceleration. and his agility also too. Like I said, last couple games we've been doing pretty well, shutting down the halfbacks that we've seen so far here, but he is definitely one to get those. One from a school like this, a small school like this, he can really probably do some damage to us. So we got to keep an eye on him. And Edwards, the top receiver, 35 receptions, 135 yards, and 5 touchdowns for him. Take a look at his carry, or his speed and acceleration is top notch there. The top defensive player there, Justin Clifton. Clifton, 23 tackles, tackle for loss, and 2 interceptions this season here for him. Great speed there. Got great vision there from the zone and man coverage there. So throwing deep towards his area is probably going to be hazardous for our health there. So we'll definitely have to watch out for him when it comes to that. And then Ellis-Brewer, the left or the right outside linebacker there for them. Their top guy there in the secondary there comes linebackers there. 30 tackles, I should say, and 2 tackles for loss. So he's been pretty much around the ball as much as possible. And like I said, next week he'll definitely be a guy that we'll have to watch out for when it comes to the passing game there. We have to really watch out for the little zone coverage there for him, because he has pretty good zone ability there. So we'll have to really keep our eye on that and just see what we can do there. So really for us, running game is going to be really important for us. Got to get that running game going, because we want to see Kason get closer. He's closer. This week he fell down some, but in the Heisman stock, or whatever you want to call it, but we're hoping to bounce back next week for him in that. So well, like I said, we'll try to plow ahead here. We have to get over that loss there, the overtime loss against LSU. We have to, if anything, we have to take it out on these Red Wolves here, and we'll try to see if we can do that coming up here next week. A lot of the guys' heads were down, but for the most part here, Coach Dave Bond's like, hey, he told them in the team meeting, hey, that loss is on us, it's on everybody, it's on the coaching staff. There's a lot of things we did wrong, but we have to get over it. The season's still alive. We're not dead in the water yet. We still can get a good, decent bowl game. If we don't get the natty, that's fine. There's always next year. But he definitely says, we got to keep pushing on, because anything can happen with the teams ahead of us. They can start dropping like flies, and we can get up there pretty quick. So we'll see if that'll be the case coming up in this game here. Like I said, it's going to be a home game, first home game for quite some time now. And we'll see what we can do coming up here in the next game against these Red Wolves. That is it for this episode of the Highland Scotties Sports Talk. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Highland Scotties football here on ESGNet. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you guys can be notified when the latest episode of this series or any other series here on the channel is uploaded to the channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord for the latest news and events on what's going on here on the channel and what is going on in the world of sports in general. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.